So, hello, new vlog, meet my colleagues. This one, for the first time ever, we'll provide it in English, we'll try. I had this request from friends who don't speak Polish, so now the star of the interview is Agata Moś. Cześć Agata, hi.
How are you doing?
Good, good, good. So Agata joined SII you joined SII in 2019, yes. And you are in charge of one of our largest accounts, the third largest account, so HSBC, a major bank. So you manage 300 people, 120 million yearly revenue. So we'll come back to your activities, but first, could you present yourself? Who are you? Where do you come from?
Of course. Thanks for having me, first of all. As you said, I work here from 2019 myself. Well, I come from Silesia, from a little city called Bytom, but I haven't lived there for like 18 years. So I've moved to Krakow, well, good 17 years ago, when I was basically 16. Then I've been doing a number of different things across my life. Right now I'm, as you mentioned, managing the collaboration with HSBC, which is a great pleasure, I've got to say, and doing it at SII is an even bigger pleasure. So I have a great team of great sales team, great consultants team, and it's an absolute pleasure to do what we do, basically.
What was your experience before joining SII?
So
you work, I think, in marketing. You work a bit in UK also.
I did, yeah. So
you were a coach, I think.
Coach, I wasn't, but like we'll get there. So it's been quite a rocky road, right? So I started in, I started pretty early because I started with doing burgers when I was 16 on a lake. But my first serious job.
What do you mean by making burgers?
Making burgers in a bar, literally. That was my first job. But like obviously this experience is not really related to what we do. I started in pension administration at Aon at the age of 20. And it's great to have this experience because it helps very much right now in understanding processes that the bank is dealing with. Then at the age of 22, I moved to sales. That was my first sales job. Had no idea what I'm doing, literally no idea.
So why this decision to move to sales? You felt it, or you had friends working in sales?
No, I totally didn't predict it. So the story is that I met a friend who was working in sales. We were in the same building and their company was located on the 3rd floor, mine was on the 2nd. And we were basically talking on the cigarette break. And he said, why don't you go and try joining sales? And I was like, I'm not a salesperson. He's like, of course you are. So basically, I went to this interview, passed the interview, and then I've been training like super hard for a year. And apparently it turned out that I am actually a salesperson. So that was the first job. I was selling market intelligence. Very interesting experience because from not doing sales, you are dealing with CEOs, COOs of companies. And when you're 22 and you're calling these people and you're telling them, I have this great report that you really need, it's quite an experience, I've got to say, but it teaches you a lot. So that was the first sales job. Then yes, as you said, I worked in recruitment in the UK. I worked in sales for The Independent, the paper. So quite a lot of...
Selling ads?
No, apparently not ads, but I was sitting with the ads team. I was a syndication executive. So I was basically reselling the content The Independent was producing to other media around the world, which was quite interesting because like I didn't know that there is things like this that actually happen, but they do. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing there. Then I moved to selling, well, kind of ads, a company called Living Socials, kind of a Groupon idea. Worked there for 2 years. That has been quite an interesting journey because you actually see the sales in the city center of London. So very fast-paced environment. Like I've never worked in an environment like this, and a difficult one. But it worked. And
why difficult?
A lot of people are very ambitious in the city center of London, and it's great. But at the same time, like you need to be equally ambitious and prove yourself twice, especially when you're not from there, right? So that's the tricky part, but managed it worked pretty well. I've been working along a great team as well, and like it's a great pleasure, really. Even we stay in contact till this day. And then I moved to marketing, which I didn't know I will. I moved to a company called 3DI in Poland.
So you lived in UK
Yes.
and in London doing how?
Couple of years. Couple of years, about 3 years in total.
And why you decided to move there? You had friends, for money, for...
No. So I don't really know when was the moment that I actually decided to move there. I've been studying bilingual school, right? So we were doing all the classes in English. And I was like, well, I've got the tools to go there. If I don't try it now, then I'm not going to try it. And I am kind of a person who needs to prove to myself that I can do something. So when I was 19 and we graduated from high school, a friend of mine gave me a call and she says, why don't you go to London with me? I'm going to start a new journey. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I have a job lined up in Krakow. I have, because I had like a temporary gastronomic job. I have
And you studied at the same time?
I didn't start yet. So it was just after we graduated from high school. So yeah, basically had everything lined up in Krakow, and then all of a sudden she says, why don't we go? And I was like, no chance. 2 days later, we bought the tickets. And we just went, having £150 in a pocket. And we moved to London. We paid a couple of nights in a hostel. And decided to prove to the world that we can do it ourselves. So I worked across different jobs, bars, of course, at the beginning. But the reason why I moved there, I think I wanted to prove something to my family, to myself, that I was like, I can do it by myself. I don't need you at any point in my life. And great experience, teaches you a lot.
But you didn't want to spend your life in London?
I didn't really decide at that point. I'm not a person of closing opportunities. You know, like when there is, I'm not saying maybe one day I will move to London. Who knows? My husband speaks English. Like I speak English. Why? Like the world is your oyster, right? So like wherever you feel. If you want me to do whatever in the UK, I'll just move, pack my stuff, pack my animals, and I'll go.
Okay. But you feel better in Poland than in...
More comfortable.
More comfortable. Why? What do you mean by comfortable?
The ratio of earnings to life, the surrounding. I have quite a decent space in Poland for living. I live close to my family right now. I have 3 cats and 2 dogs. That takes space as well. So I kind of enjoy...
Yes, it would be hard to have the
yes.
Because you need a larger house and it's hard to get in London. Yeah.
Yeah, and in London, as you say, getting a house is a problem, right? Like getting a big house is an even bigger one. And I love driving. That is a plus here. In London, driving doesn't make much sense, right? Like, because you have underground everywhere. So, so yeah, for now I'm here, but like,
okay,
whatever you say.
So different experience in sales, in marketing. What is, according to you, what is the difference between sales and marketing?
I'd say sales is more proactive. Marketing is more strategy and planning. So in sales, sometimes the best deals you will get from going with the flow. Not even planning something, because you can't predict certain situations. In marketing, you need to plan the campaign. You need to think what exactly is going to be there. It's very interesting as well, but it's not necessarily that much me. So like I feel more comfortable in sales, but it helps massively. The experience from marketing helps massively in what we do, because now we, for example, organize events with a client from time to time. And I need this experience, right? I need to know how to book the place, how to organize an agenda, how to send invitations, even like little things like, for example, optimizing communication via Excel or Word just helps massively.
So you worked in marketing before joining SIA. So why have you decided to join SIA in 2019?
That's a tough one, really. So there's been a number of things. I've worked at 3DI at the time for nearly 3 years. Some personal changes inside the company, and I like working with people who really influence me and motivate me. And that person has left the company, and I felt like maybe it's time for me to move on. And at the time, there was an event of women in IT organized by SIA in Krakow, and me and a friend of mine from the same company, we basically signed up to go. In the end, the event didn't happen. I remember that, and I was like, we need to change something. Like when you advertise something like this, things need to happen. And then I saw a position on your website, because I haven't heard honestly about SIA before that event. And I applied for a position of business manager, knowing absolutely nothing what that means. Then I went for an interview. And I remember there was a time when somebody mentioned that I would work with HSBC, and I was like, that sounds like a bigger challenge than I actually anticipated at first, but it sounds great. And that's why I basically joined.
Do you have any interesting or funny anecdotes about when you start, you joined SIA? Or?
About the start, for sure. So I remember the first day I joined, and I was walking around, Sean was introducing me to everybody at the old office at Wilicka. And he was like, so this is Agata, she's going to manage HSBC. And people were like, so you're going to work with Kamil and Mateusz? And I was like, yes. Everyone were like, good luck. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I met Camille and Mateusz, and they're great people, absolutely great people, but very strong personalities. And they didn't get along that well at the very beginning. So I was like, that's going to be a rocky road. But we managed. In the end, we ended up in a place where we really were helping each other and we actually were friends. So, but that was funny. I remember my face when everybody were like, good luck.
And your hobbies or passion in life. So you mentioned your cats, dogs, or some other things.
Yeah, I love singing. I sing a
yes,
lot. Yeah, I even sang one event. So a lot of karaoke in my life and a lot of self-made karaoke inside the car while I'm driving. I dance as well. So, well, not in a club or like on a regular basis at class, but I dance a lot when I go to the city, that for sure. So I would say these are my two biggest passions. Definitely animals. Definitely. I love this bunch that I have at home so much. I used to play table tennis for a very long time. Apparently I still can, but don't practice it that often. But generally I just try to do everything that comes on the way. Every day is different, so like whenever there is an opportunity to do something new, I'll try it, right? And then we'll see. Maybe that will become my new passion.
And dance, what kind of dance? Because I don't remember, we never danced together.
We never danced
together. Party, we should do it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember seeing you on the dance floor.
Oh yeah, I am always there.
Yeah?
Absolutely always. Unless I am with my team and then I need to behave, then I'm not dancing. No, but honestly, I dance a lot. I danced salsa in the past. Even had a chance to be like at a competition in Cyprus, so that was great. But more hip hop, jazz kind of things.
Okay. So we have to try.
Absolutely.
And singing, I remember once you told me your dream was to be a famous singer, but
in the
didn't
past,
happen.
yes.
Yeah.
That was my initial dream as a child, like to be the next Britney Spears. You know, I grew up in the times of Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys. I had like huge posters of them in my house.
Okay, so let's come back to your work in SII. So could you describe your job, your missions, your KPI to measure your performance, your department organization, your duties?
Sure. So I have a team of, I never remember how many people, but like a strong team where we have 2 delivery managers, 1, 2, 3, 4 salespeople right now with 2 openings as well, and over 300 consultants, like you mentioned. My duty is basically to make sure, well, we're divided in a way that each person in my team is responsible for another department within the bank, and they need to make sure that everything works within this department, right? My task is basically to be everywhere a little bit, but I can't be everywhere. Like, as you know, you can't be everywhere, which has been a tough call for me because like I like to see things firsthand. No, but sometimes you just can't. So my job basically is to make sure that everything works within those departments, that we are helping managers in receiving, in opening new teams, in delivering replacements for whenever teams are necessary, delivering products when necessary. I'm also making sure that my team likes to work together and likes to work with me. Whenever there are any escalations, any struggles, I'm obviously there to help them. I don't have like a daily schedule, I would say. Every day is totally different. It all depends on what is happening with the client, what are the openings, like who came to work, who's ill or whatever else. So every day is totally different. There is only one common thing that happens every day is a daily call. So every day we start a call at 9:30. Obviously people start earlier, but like 9:30 is like a time when we sit down with a coffee and discuss, where everybody has a chance to say what they did yesterday, what they're planning on doing today, how basically they're gonna, if they need any help as well, because we work as a team.
Your business managers, they spend more time working with SI colleagues or working with HSBC managers?
Definitely more working with HSBC managers, definitely more. So whenever there is an opening, we usually have a briefing call that the client organizes for us when they are saying what the project is about, what the role is about, they're describing exactly the profile that they need. So they're always attending those calls. Whenever needs anything needs additional verification, then they basically reach out to managers. They work very closely with PMO teams at HSBC. So like not only with managers, but each department at HSBC will have a team of PMO that are basically managing the whole recruitment process for the client, right?
PMO, French.
Like a team. Yeah, but very helpful because managers are tied in projects.
No, it's French to call it PMO because of
yes.
project management office. Yeah, office is very large, generic word. But first time I see that PMO is in charge of resource management and staffing. Yeah,
that's the name of the role, but I would call them more miracle makers because like whenever we can't reach a manager, they know how to do it. So without them, like the whole process would not just simply work, right?
So HSBC, let's present HSBC because it's so it may be interesting for the audience. So could you describe it? What is it?
Yeah, well, huge international universal bank, over 220,000 people across the world, headquarters in London and in Hong Kong, but that pretty much everybody who would Google HSBC will know. It's a fascinating...
People may not know who listen to our vlog,
of
so
course.
Yes, the name even, it's HSBC, it's
Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation, yes. A very long one, and it takes time to remember it, but yeah, absolutely, because the founders were from Hong Kong and from London, right? So the organization is absolutely marvelous in terms of how they operate, divided into different business lines that we have a chance to work with across all of them, really.
So the business line, it's retail, corporate,
wholesale, wealth management, wealth private banking, cybersecurity, market securities and services. There is wealth management and private banking that is super interesting in terms of delivery of digital products. They deliver applications, for example, that people in Asia can open an account at HSBC from their phone on the way to work. When our engineers work on that. You met Mateusz Jaworski?
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, you met him during the CEO meetup. So Mateusz is working on that application, for example. And then you have also a fascinating department that is called Market Security and Services that is all about trading. Trading investments. So our engineers has been working on applications that are helping traders in London on the stock exchange to actually buy, sell stocks.
220,000 people, so they have a shared service center in Krakow.
This is not a shared service center anymore. Apparently, it's a global business services center. So a center that delivers not only like the delivery part, but also has business competencies. It has been changed to this official naming, I think, over a year ago, which is great because that basically means that we can do more projects in Krakow and there is more, so to say, decisions that are falling into place in Krakow, and that helps also with management of teams. So
HSBC, how many people do they have in Krakow?
About, I hope this is right, but I think about 8,000 people, between 7,000 and 8,000.
Wow, it's huge.
Within
huge.
IT, it's 2,000 to 3,000.
So IT and rest is like back office administration.
BPO. I wouldn't say back office.
Business operations.
Business operations, more business process outsourcing. I think from other locations. So there is KYC projects. There is AML projects, of course. There is a lot of data processing, payroll, accounting happening also.
So why HSBC decided to outsource some services to SII? What's the main benefits they get from SII?
Well, I can only talk from what we've been told, obviously. I hope what we know as these reasons are the actual reasons, but probably there is more to it. So from our experience, what we have been told is that we are often chosen for projects because we simply deliver faster in terms of like headhunting candidates from the market. So we deliver them very fast. We are very flexible when it comes to collaboration. We're always trying to find the solution. And I've been told once that when we say something that we will do it, then we actually do it. So I think that's the major reasons why we've been chosen to work with those projects, right?
Why HSBC decide to outsource some services to an external vendor than doing it themselves? What?
I wouldn't want to speak on their C-level behalf.
Not C-level, but you see why they prefer to use contractors, external suppliers, and recruiting themselves, freelancers even, or permanent contract?
It's a highly regulated institution, right? It's a bank in the end. So like there's quite a lot of so to say, I wouldn't call them blockers, but like steps that need to be taken to onboard an engineer. Anti-corruption, anti-bribery, criminal checks, like quite a lot of
and it's faster to take a contractor? Usually,
yes. Then the whole external check of all those factors is on us, not on the internal HSBC team. We usually have higher skilled people on board, then it's easy to find. And also the collaboration perspective, right? Like we work with a lot of our consultants on B2B basis.
And HSBC do not recruit freelancers?
And
only permanent employees?
Yes, it's a bank, right? Like, so it would be very difficult to monitor the situation.
So what is the percentage? You see 8,000 people in Krakow, 3,000 people in IT. What is the percentage of contractors versus own staff?
To my best knowledge, in IT, it's about nearly half-half.
50%. Which means that they have 1,500 contractors.
About that, yes.
And what is the SI market share?
We have over 300 consultants.
So it's and we are the leader.
We're the biggest vendor in Krakow.
Biggest vendor, yeah, okay.
In terms of the number,
20% we have market share around.
Yes, but there is quite a lot of other vendors that need to share the rest, right? So yeah, we have the well, gratefully we have the position of being the biggest vendor. Hopefully, we will grow that even further. But obviously, we have very strong competition as well that is making our work worthwhile, I would say.
And which company are those competitors? Or?
It depends in which sense. So in the staffing sense, team leasing sense, it's usually Alten that we are competing with. Hello to Alten, like if they're listening to us. No, it's great to have like a rival that basically goes hand in hand.
And what is SI strength?
Because we have people in very different projects, we don't treat this collaboration as you went to a project and we don't care. We try to understand what people are doing in those projects and connect those dots so that whenever there is a new opening, we know already what the manager is looking for without even getting the job description, if you know what I mean.
HSBC, what kind of skill profile will it deliver to them?
Very senior profiles. That is across all the competencies. We're never looking for juniors or regulars. It's always senior. From the development perspective, it will be on a backend mainly Java, sometimes Python, but not that often, sometimes .NET. Again, majority Java, cloud, AWS, recently Google Cloud Platform, very popular. From time to time, Azure. We deliver Scrum Masters, project managers, what else? PMOs as well, cybersecurity experts, identity access management experts, business analysts. These would be the profiles, but all of them senior. Like, forget, if you're a junior, I'm really sorry. Like,
it's not efficient in terms of cost when you recruit usually only senior. And no tester, quality insurance?
We do, yes. Java testers, sorry, automation.
Okay. UX, no?
A couple of roles. Very, very few. But yes, we do have a few. Java, I said, automation testers and also exploratory. That has been a new profile that we didn't know about 2 years ago. Now we're very fluent in exploratory testers.
Who will check if our developer or tester or cloud will work well according to HSBC expectation? How they measure that? Usually the performance of our
technical leaders. Technical leaders or hiring managers are providing us feedback on a regular basis. Whenever something happens, it's more often. When everything is good, they just send a short information. It's all good. We will let you know if it's changing.
It's digitalized, this process, or how they provide feedbacks?
Usually we just hear it on the phone.
Okay, so maybe it's not digitalized.
Yeah, because like obviously hiring managers are very busy and we don't want to add them.
For hiring manager, usually they don't, it's like SII. You see your business manager, they don't manage operationally the developer.
But so hiring managers do. Hiring managers in HSBC in some projects do. Because they will only have a technical leader in a project who will manage the tasks. And whenever something goes wrong, the technical leader will go straight to the hiring manager.
So the hiring manager doesn't know directly. The technical leader, you see that when you give a task to somebody and you check if it is done,
Sure.
according to, you can measure if the person work fast, with proper attention to detail. But for that, you have yourself to give this task and to get it back. When you don't do it, you must count on other people. You don't know if your this person work properly or not.
Technical leaders are also our employees, so there the communication is even smoother. So the delivery manager works directly with the technical leaders of those projects and has first-hand information.
You have some references, what kind of one or two interesting projects we are doing for them?
Well, I would say Marks and Spencer project is very interesting. We have built the front end and the back end of an application for Marks and Spencer cards. And loans. That's, well, I would not want to talk about very detailed things about the project, but it's a great team that is working there. They've been working there for nearly 2 years right now. And like they really know their things. We've spoken to product owners in Sheffield and in London, and they praise them for delivering very good jobs. So every such a moment is like a little success and builds up. And basically helps to do the next thing.
Do you have some important milestones, success, failure of the cooperation between SII and HSBC?
For sure. I think the first milestone was when we delivered the first team, because it's been quite interesting, the speed. We delivered the first team within 5 days.
How many people?
6 people. We managed to find them, screen them technically, screen them with the client as well, because at the time they were screened by the client as well, and hire them within 5 days. So that was quite a fast process. But once you do something like this, you know that you can pretty much do everything. So that was the first milestone. And I would say the second one, when this team has been mentioned in a global newsletter, that the product they delivered has been great and it has helped massively. So that was like a moment of pride, you know, like the proud mother kind of thing. So that was great. And a lot of these people from the first initial team also still work with us. One of them, Darek Krul, who's our Sii ambassador. So I remember the first talk I had with Darek. He always jokes about it when we talk, because it was quite a desperate call, but like managed. So that I would say was the first milestone. I think that there's been a lot of them, and I would say every positive feedback is a milestone as well. In terms of failures, I wouldn't see that many failures in terms of collaboration with the client. I'd see mine, personal, more.
For example?
There's been a moment when I lost the trust of people I work with for some time, and I remember that being very tough. But you need to learn from your mistake and you need to rise like Phoenix, right? So I think we overcame this and managed to find a way to work together again, and I think it's all good.
And what you did to lose this trust? Which mistake?
That is a very good question, because I think I assumed I'm being understood rather than ask directly if I am being understood. So in some discussions, I assume that people know what I have in mind and what is the reason why I'm pushing for certain things. Because I'm a vision person, right? Like I need to have a vision, and like I'm going there, and whoever I work with, we're getting on the same boat, and we just sail until we reach it, right? And I assume that everybody is on the same boat, and it looked like not everybody were, and my mistake that I didn't identify it earlier, I should have. But at the same time, a very tough lesson that you need to remember at the end of the day, that people are people and like not always you can trust everybody 100%. But also a very interesting lesson for me that you can rebuild the trust. I didn't know that. I thought that once somebody loses the trust, like that's it.
It's one of or several of your subordinates who didn't trust you anymore, or you didn't trust them anymore.
Both ways, I would say.
Okay.
First, they didn't trust me, and like then, obviously.
But those people quit it finally, yes?
Not all of them.
Why those 4 people started to complain or to rebel against you?
I think each of them had a different reason. One of the reasons that I see today, after some time, I have been told often about the capacity of the team, that they are doing too much. And at the time, me being me, I was like, nah, it's not too much. Like, you can handle this. I was obviously still trying to grow the team, but I can always come to a conclusion that if I can do it, that means that everybody can do it, right? And that's not necessarily the case, because people have different capacity, different speed of doing things, and different focus as well, right? So for sure, one of the reasons was that I listened to those claims. Maybe I didn't hear them, or maybe we didn't react fast enough. And I'm saying we because not all of these decisions are obviously like only mine. And it takes time to find a new person to join the team, the recruitment process and all of this.
For example, Shimon didn't approve a new
approval was
vacancy?
there.
Or...
The approval was there, just like the time of finding a new person and making sure this is the right person, then providing the induction
You are never
period.
sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And after doing the onboarding, you see, it doesn't save works of other.
Yeah.
No, it's add, you see, to train.
Sure.
Because you see, when you recruit somebody, he start to be productive after 3-6 months. But the first 3 months, it costs more than it brings any benefits to you and your team. Yeah.
And the team, exactly. So it adds additional work for the team because everybody's trying to help this person, right?
And
so
to train and to coach. And
yeah. So that was one thing. The other thing was, I think there were some personal issues that people had as well that influenced their capacity the capacity at work and their, so to say, focus and ambition as well. And I think from the time perspective, I have always been treating my team as a family. And it's not like a thing that you will hear in corporations. They were actually my family. They were taking part in my personal life. I was taking part in their personal life. And one of the lessons is that this is not necessarily good, which I didn't know. Obviously, like now having the experience, I kind of try to obviously be close with them, but at the same time keeping this professional relationship in place. Because once you go too close to somebody, this is the time that things can go both ways, right? Like they can go very good or very bad. So that is my lesson.
My experience with me, I can work very closely with some colleagues from SII, from Polonia, from Taverna Kaszubska. But it's happened in SII that I dismiss some close friends. People I play tennis every week with. I went on holidays. I had crazy parties.
100%.
And I don't have problems with that. You see, me, I could. Yes, in a work you have to perform to deliver according to, and I can be very close to somebody. Can be my close friend. But if this person does not deliver according to expectation, I wouldn't have problem to dismiss this person from the good of SII and the good of thousands of other people.
Absolutely.
But of course, it's rare, and the majority of people they won't be able to do that. Me, I have this capacity. I have no problem. It's the problem that when it happened, this person starts to hate you, and it happened. I had a problem. We were close, and after they hated me, and still today they hate me. Me no. And with pleasure, I could help them today if they have a private, personal problem. I could come to sleep on my house. I could give you some money. You see, let's talk. You see. But okay, work is work. So me, I don't have this experience, this problem, and I already did it, and I could repeat it in SI, in Poland, etc.
But it takes two people, right? Like both people need to understand that this relationship is the way you describe it, right?
Yes, and I think you have to remember that very important, but you can tell that you remember. If you are my boss, that you remember, okay, Greg, we can be friends, we can go on holidays, we can, but remember, I'm your boss, I can dismiss you.
Yes.
And then I forget about that, you can't manage me.
Of course.
You see, you should be, and that is very complex because, yes, when you report to somebody, you have to remember that this person can dismiss you. It's not, it's bad for the whole organization because I don't respect your authority. A manager should have, for the well-being of the organization, you need the team. There should be a boss, with decision making, to make things efficient, productive, to go further. And so, no problem. Perhaps also your problem that among those 4 people, there were one troublemaker, I call it toxic, who influenced the 3 others against you, yeah. And often is that it's one who caused all the problem, and perhaps it's what happened in your case, yeah?
Yeah, but the reason why I said I lost their trust is because for me, this whole matter, like after time, after processing it, is more about losing trust than being upset or anything else. Because like, to deliver good things, to deliver great things, you need to have people who you trust and who trust you. Sometimes you will take, you know yourself, you take decisions that
I think even not good to recruit somebody, to work with somebody, you must trust this person.
Of course.
After also control, after...
of course. Yeah. Sometimes you take a decision and you don't have time to explain why you take this decision, right? Like it just needs to happen and you have few minutes to do this. So you need to be surrounded with people that have your back, that know why you're doing this. And even if they don't understand it, they trust that it's for their good, right? And that's why I'm saying this is the matter of trust for me. Because like I lost this trust. Because if they trusted me, they would come to me and tell me, listen, we've got a problem. We need to discuss it. We need to sort it. They didn't. So that means they didn't trust me anymore, that my decisions are leading us somewhere. Okay.
And what you would do differently now?
What I am doing differently, I hope. Hello to all my team. We are very close, but we are very open. I think I've learned to understand that not everybody's first focus is their work. It is mine, but I need to understand that people have lives. And my vision may be for them less important than their whatever private plans, right? So that I've learned and that I'm trying to respect those boundaries. When something can be done tomorrow, I'm not pushing to do it today. I am still very hard in expecting quality, that's for sure. And I think whoever is sending emails and I'm like finding the spellings or double spaces or typos, they will confirm that. But I give them a lot of trust. So like rather than doing micromanagement, I'm giving them a task of delivering XYZ and they have time. And like, I'm checking up on them. Do you need support with this? Do you need anything? If they say they do, then I'm there. They say that they don't, then I'm like, okay, when we agreed on this deadline, then at this deadline, let's sit down, right? So I think that I'm doing different. And I've also implemented one-on-ones on a regular basis. So every 2 weeks, even we're sometimes...
Yeah, I think it's very important. One-on-one talking, not with a group, yes, but alone with your subordinates, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I said about assumption, right? I assume that people know that they can come to me every time. But not everybody has this, you know, drive to go and be like, I want to talk to you on the side. So that's why they have this space every 2 weeks. They still obviously can come to me anytime. But I think like that helps too. I hope. No, but it's going very well. I think we all like each other and I kind of start feeling the spirit again.
Okay, so let's, so which event do you organize with HSBC? Some examples?
So we, well, we very much like doing events with HSBC. It started off last year when we took part together in Women in Tech, the conference organized here in Warsaw. Great event, obviously, and we had a chance to partner on 2 workshops. So we delivered 2 workshops with HSBC managers, and thank you very much for that. Definitely great experience. And then this year in March, we organized our own version, so to say, of Women in Tech, actually Women in IT, the initiative that has been at SII already. We organized an event in our Krakow office. We invited our employees, SII employees from different locations. We invited HSBC employees, and we also invited people from the market. Ladies who wanted, well, not only ladies, but majority of ladies came, who wanted to learn a little bit how the collaboration is, how is also working at SII. And we've organized 2 paths, a technical path and a business path. Both of them run, half by the managers from HSBC and by our people. So Monika Jaworowska and Natalka Buchel were helping us. Monica was leading the technical session, Natalia the non-technical session. And we had like a number of managers from HSBC partnering on this, which has been a very interesting experience. After this, we organized like a painting for everybody where we were trying to paint a message for other women. So a great experience, very good energy, and quite a good feedback that we got literally after this.
Finishing with SII, have you ever thought about quitting SII?
I would lie if I say I didn't. I did once during the situation that we spoke about. I did. It did cross my mind because it takes a lot from a person to destabilize everything that you are standing on. But Shimon called me back then, and then you called me. And the words that he said, I felt like I am here for a reason, and I cannot just leave it like this. And I think this phone call was worth more than anything else, because the way he said it, he was like, "I don't care. You need to be here. Like you are needed here. I want to work with you. Like I need you here." And these few words, you know, like not meaning that much. And then when you called and you said like, "I didn't know, but like, is there anything I can do for you? Like, can I help you? You can call me anytime," because you said that. I was like, okay, there's people who actually believe and trust that I can do this. And then I was like, then I've got to put, you know, my hands up and make it work. So
congratulations to Shimon Zubek, and great. So you have good relation with Shimon, yeah?
Very good. Like, yeah, I really like working with him.
Yeah, he's a great boss. So regional director of SI Kraków.
You know what's his best feature? He gives people freedom. He knows who he can trust and who he can't trust, and where he can trust, and like he gives you freedom. If he sees that you are failing a little bit, he will step in. But generally, he's like a big brother, you know, watching from far, and he's like, she will manage. I don't need to disturb her. So that's great. I really appreciate this collaboration.
So what you don't like in your job, and what you like and you don't like in SII? In your job?
Mm-hmm. I definitely like the freedom that I have. I remember you said it once on a call, freedom at SII, róbcie co chcecie. And that was my point. I was like, yes, this is the company I want to work for. So I definitely like the freedom. The fact that there is always a way to do something, even though like officially it would be a very long journey, that there is a shortcut and there is a way to do something if it actually makes sense. So that I really appreciate. I really like also at my work that every day is different. That for someone who gets bored easily, like me, this is a major plus. So like if I feel like it's been too long in Kraków or something has been going on for too long, I'm like, we need to shake things up. Let's schedule meetings somewhere and let's just go there. So that I really appreciate. I like the fact that nobody's stopping anybody from talking to someone.
So what are your dreams or objectives? Where would you like to be in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years?
I have big plans. I generally have a lot of plans and a lot of things that I would like to see happening. So the idea is basically I would like to eventually get us to the point where we can globally work with financial institutions. That would be my aim. So that like SII as a group can work with big financial institutions, treat us as a partner, give us big projects. We can deliver them greatly. So that is my mission. This is where I want to get, for sure. And if it's a perspective of 1 year, I don't think so. It's going to take some time. But we're working towards it. So hopefully this is where it get us.
For that, you will need to work not only in Poland, but in other geographies.
Yes.
So two possibilities with other SII subsidiaries, India, Canada, I don't know. And you should try directly with them. And if you have difficulties, come to me. If I love your dream and your objective, if you need, when you will need any support, call me, send me an email.
Thank you.
I will wish to help you because I know it's the most exciting objective for SII to become a global partner of companies, customer like HSBC, not having 300 engineers, but 3,000, and not working only in Krakow, but in every geographies, in different continents. And to be a strategic vendor partner of those customers, that it should be global at bigger scale. And so you can contact me 24/7 if you need any help. Okay, so let's finish this long vlog. So do you have any other comment, questions?
If I have any other comments, questions, I think we kind of used the whole thing. I don't know. Is there anything you want me to
what
add?
is it, your main satisfaction as work? It's achievement, money, power.
My main satisfaction?
Recognition.
I'm not gonna lie that I like money, because I kind of like buying shoes, a lot of them. So yeah, but this is not my main drive. My main drive, and I think it's gonna sound pretty lame, but my main drive is people that I work with. I'm an absolute people pleaser. So if I have people around me that I feel like I owe something, or that they trusted me with their career, then this is my main motivator. Like, I need to see them grow. I need to give them opportunities to grow, and to ensure that what we are doing today is a part of the path to get somewhere, and not a 9-to-5 job. This is my main motivator.
It's linked with the mission of our company, power people,
Yes.
identify and promote the best.
Yes, yes. And I think there is quite a few good examples. Tomek Skwara is one of a good example of this. Kamil Maj, the same. Grzesiu Szerłąski works with us as a consultant, so like...
I think it's one of the most important skill of any managers and leader, to recruit and identify and promote the best people. When you know how to do it, it's great skill. You see, to build great team around you.
I don't know if you heard about Simon Sinek.
Yeah?
Yeah, so Simon Sinek is my mentor in terms of like understanding the world. And I think the sooner we understand that our job is to work for people, the more these people will contribute.
Thank you very much, Agata Moś. Thank you very much, and see you later.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.